Hey guys, Nostal-Gi-Oh here, back with another Master Duel video, and today we're going to be talking about prank kids. I'm not going to play them, as you can see here, I don't own them, but I did make two lists for Master Duel for the format that I think are pretty cool and really interesting, and I'll tell you a couple cool tech ideas as well, and some good budget alternatives to some more expensive staples like cross-out designators, imperms, a bunch of these ultra-rare expensive cards. You can replace them with something else. Probably not in this build. This build is a very, we're playing cross-out designator in every hand trap possible, and then just max out on engine. But the other build, I'll go ahead and show it now too. Prank 2. It's a more budget build, and it's less like cross-out, designator heavy build. So you can play this build is fairly budget, I would say. I think it's definitely fairly budget, and you can, take out some of the cheap extra stuff, or take out some of the expensive extra stuff. And then, budget alternatives, which we'll talk about here in a moment. There's not too many, though, for the extra deck options. But, yeah, we'll talk about the first one, the first build first, because I like this build a lot. This is what this is probably what I'm going to build here pretty soon. Once I get more, as you can see here, I only have like 67 ultra rares. And honestly, the well's kind of dry for gems and stuff. So I think I'm going to have to stick to Virtual World and Eldritch for now. But this is probably what I'm going to make next. But yeah, this deck is really, really powerful. So prank kids, if you don't know what they do, when they link off, they special another from the deck and then get an additional effect. So they're really, really powerful. It's essentially one card combo because they have a link 1. So you can normal summon any of the prank kids, which there's 4 different ones that we play 3 of, and 3 of the field spell, which is just Rhoda for it, and a terraforming. So you have 16 copies of a prank kid in your deck. So you're going to open one, most likely. So you normal summon one, link it off into Meow Meow, which is this guy. And then special another from your deck, and then you link it off into this, which searches the fusion spell, and then you activate that, special this guy, which is essentially like a Infinity Launcher. You contribute it to special summon 2 back from the grave, and then essentially at the end of the whole turn, you have this guy available. You usually end on this guy, which can tag out during your opponent's turn, quick effect, to add back 2 prank kid cards, and then you have this set, the quick play spell, and then you activate it into this guy, and this guy is Regeki by tributing itself, and if you have a Meow Meow in the grave, then you can banish that instead of cost, so it's quick play 2 Regekis. It's really, really powerful, and that's all off of 1 card. So full combo, this deck goes really, really hard, and then, so yeah, what I did was I just maxed out on combo, and then I played triple cross-out designator and double called by to ensure combo happens. And then I played every hand trap. That's what the build is. I think it's crazy. But like I said, I can't test it. I don't have the cards. But the deck is really, really powerful. So we'll go ahead and do a quick deck profile. So 3 of each of the pranks. All the prank kid cards, all 4 of them. 3 of them all. We just max out on all of them. And then triple of the field spell and the 1 terraforming, like I said, just max out, completely max out on all of them. If you clunk with like 3 or 4 of them, it's fine. And that way you can still play through combo or play through hand traps, except max C, through these, or like without these. So it's really good. So I just say max out on all the prank cards. I like it a lot. As far as the hand traps go, playing the triple max C, triple Ash Blossom, triple Imperm. Very, very heavy on the hand traps. That way, if you go first or second, you can play the game. Feels pretty good. I think so. And then maybe like droplets could be in here as well if you don't want to play like the imperms, but it's also an ultra rare, so it's like equally as expensive. But having droplets would be good too. That's just like a quick off the top of my head change that you can make to the deck. So yeah, that's the heavy lineup of the hand traps, and then we also play a couple one-ofs just like to hit things in the meta. Nibiru is not being played very heavily, but it does destroy this deck. At the end of the combo, they can drop this. If you don't start the play with polymerization, like a regular copy of polymerization, which we're not playing in this deck, we're playing it in the other build though, then you're going to get blown out by Nibiru. So having 1 copy of it for the crossout is really good. And same with the one of Effect Veiler. Sky Striker plays it for part of the Celine Access Code Talker play. So, Effect Veiler is in the meta. So I'm playing 1 just so you have it for the crossout. So that's really all of the hand traps. 3 3-ofs and then 2 1-ofs. You can change the lineup. However, you can make all the 3-ofs 2-ofs if you want to. That's a good budget alternative if you're going for this deck but don't want to get 3 of everything. You can get 2 of all of those cards, and that works just as fine, as long as you have access to them for the crossout designator, and still a high count of hand traps in general, because you want to have your combo plus as many hand traps as possible. So I'd still want to max out on hand traps if you got them. And if you don't have them already, then craft some of the, craft 2 of them. It makes sense. Other than those, we play a couple one-ofs. Feather Duster, just because best of 1 format. I'm slapping this in just about every deck. Instant Fusion is the best extender in this deck. If you get hand trapped, you can summon this guy, which then is Tribute and double Monster Reborn. So it's really, really powerful. You can even play regular Monster Reborn over this if you want, because that is given out in solo mode. So that's a great budget alternative to this. And then the one Thunder Dragon Fusion, which you don't have to play because you do need a vert for that. But it's just a really good recursion play. Mid to late game, you go for a Protoplant Vert with just 1 Prank Kid. You summon it, go into the link 1, special another from your deck, and make Vert. And then you can send this guy and special summon a Battle Butler. So it's a really, really good late game, mid to late game play. Recoup play. It's very, very strong. One of the Prank Kid's pranks, this card is really good. It's essentially like a baby Pot of Avarice on the end phase, a Daigusto Emerald, if you will. Shuffle 3 Prank Kid's cards from the grave to the deck, and then draw a card. It's very solid. It also is a baby extender. You can discard a Prank Kid's card to special summon a token, which then you can link off with. So if your opponent Ash Blossoms your first Prank Kid effect, when you link 1 into this, you can activate this, discard a card, special summon a token, and then link the token and the Meow Meow into a doodle, and then search this. And if you have more Prank Kids names in your hand, you can go full combo through an Ash Blossom, so that's really good. And then we played 3 of the Pandemonium, the quick play spell. I just like maxing out on the engine cards for this build. I think is really good. And then the last 1 card in the main deck is Prank Kid's Plan, which if you're in a grindy long game, this card can save your entire game. You can banish it from the graveyard and then shuffle all Prank Kids cards from your grave into your deck, and then gain 100 life points for each one. The life points isn't really that big, or not life points. Target a monster on the field and it loses 100 attack for each one. So it's not that big, but it is a battle trap late game that can be kind of cool. But it's mostly just to put your guys back so that you can continue to play, Link shenanigans the next turn. As far as the extra deck goes, I played 3 of the Meow Meow, the Link 1, the starter. You can play 2 if you want. In fact, I usually play 2, but I think in this format, 3 seems like pretty solid. Because of the amount of Maxi and Ash Blossom and stuff, a lot of the time you're probably going to want to just stop on the Meow Meow, since you'll have hand traps. You won't die the next turn if you get Max Seed. And, don't open a card, one of your 8 outs to Max C, Crossout Designator, Called By, and Ash. If you don't open any of those outs to Max C, you can pass on that with hand traps, and you're probably safe. So yeah, that's why I'm playing the triple of that. And then we played 2 Doodle, 2 of the Bow Wow, and then 2 Battle Butler, and then 1 of the 2 Fusions. I just thought this was good. I've played this deck in the TCG for a while, and this ratio seemed fine, so we went with it. And then the other cards in the extra deck here, 1 totally awesome because you can make it with 2 of this, and it's at 1. This card's insane. It's an Omni Negate if you don't know. That also adds back this, which is full combo the next turn. It's incredibly strong. Definitely advise getting 1. I know it's an ultra rare. You don't have to get it right off rip, but I definitely recommend getting 1. It's very, very strong. The Vert, like I said, is really, really good with the Thunder Dragon Fusion. And then the Unicorn into Talker play. This is really, really good in this deck, but you can play Boral Sword if you want to. But I think Boral Sword is also an ultra rare. It is. So I would just recommend getting an access code if you're crafting. But there is the 1 pack, the Stalwart pack, I think that is called, that has the Tri-Brigade cards, the Eldritch cards, Striker cards, and Boral Sword Dragon. So if you pull a Boral Sword Dragon from going from those packs, Boral Sword will be fine because you just need a win con, essentially. You just need a very strong card that can just attack for game, and Boral Sword does that pretty effectively. But I do like access code more because this deck plays every attribute, like, basically in the game in the extra deck. So access code Talker usually can be a pop 4, pop 5. It's crazy. And if you go Unicorn first, you shuffle, you spin a card, and then you pop their whole field. It's crazy, man. It's really good. It's definitely worth getting, in my opinion. And the link cards, or the prank cards, can link up into an access code easy peasy. Crazy easily. It's very, very effective. So that is the first build of Prank. This is my favorite build of Prank. This is optimized. Obviously, there's some changes. Droplets could definitely go in the main deck, and you could change all of the ratios from 3s to 2, and you can cut some pranks if you want. Maybe cut the terraforming or just one is the place. You can cut a Roxy's. Also, Pot of Desires is a really good card that you could play. I don't like it personally because you hit a lot of names sometimes. But I see a lot of people playing it, and I'm playing it in my other build, and I think it's very good. Also, an interesting tech, Skill Drain. I think Skill Drain could be insane in this deck. Everything tributes for cost, so if you don't banish with Meow Meow, you tribute them for cost, you can still resolve a lot of effects, and all the pranks activate in Grave. So it's really, really good. Also, TC Boo, there can be only one. That could be a really good option as well. So that was it for the first prank list. Let's talk about the second prank list. This one is a little more budget, and we do have some budget options here, like the chalices instead of the droplets. If you have droplets, play it over it. I have droplets, but I'm missing the rest of the deck. So if you don't have this card, play the chalice instead. It'll do the same thing. And not actually, but it's good still. Chalice doesn't even out VFD a lot of the time because VFD Chuchi gets through chalice if you don't have trap. So don't worry about it, or droplets. So don't worry about it too much. Definitely get the core and staples first, and then get droplet. Droplets is a little bit lower on the staples because a lot of decks don't even matter. It doesn't even matter for like Eldritch. It's not even that good against Eldritch, and Eldritch is probably the most played deck, one of the most played decks. It's not very good against Sky Striker either, and that's another one of the most played decks. So it's good. Actually, it might be. It's like okay against Sky Striker, but it's not that good. Same with Eldritch. It's okay. It's not that good. Anyway, enough rambling about other stuff. Let's talk about this Prank Kids list. So, as you see here, I went a little bit cheaper on the list. In fact, we're just gonna make them chalices, which are right there, which is weird. But yeah, this list I think is really solid as well. You still have Ash, Max C. I think those are the staples that you need in the format, as well as Called By. If you're gonna play this deck, I think you need Called Bys in the Ash Max C. If you're gonna play Called By in Max C, max those out first and then get Ash. You can get one Ash for free with the bundle, so that's really good. And overall, this deck is fairly budget, and if you need to, you don't even have to play this. You can play the Boral, but like I said, it's equally as expensive. And if you already have the Vert, that's a great place. This is a great home for the Vert as well with the Thunder Dragon Fusion. But if you're looking for a more budget build, you don't have to play the Thunder Dragon Fusion. You don't have to play the Vert. You don't even have to play the Access or Boral if you don't want to. The deck does have Kill You plays. You can play this guy. If you Fusion Summon this guy with the Prank Kids place and Chainlink place as Chainlink 1 and then make all of your Prank Kids summons after that, then place will buff all of them by 500, and it's very, very big. You swing really, really big with that play. So that's another Kill You play. If you don't have the access code Unicorn combo, you can do that play. But anyway, let's talk about the deck. Let's talk about the actual list. So 3 of all of the pranks, I'm still maxing on all of them, and I mean maxing. I'm still playing 3 of the place and the terraforming as well. 16 engine. I don't think this is overdoing it. I really don't, because it's not only that you like miss sometimes, but opening multiple is fine. And when you open Poly plus any 2 names that aren't dropsies, you open the normal the summon Totally Awesome under 5 summons, which plays through Nibiru play, which is really, really good. Of course, that is susceptible to Max C, but if you do that play, you're also not weak to Ash. So it's really good. I think that play is really, really powerful, and this build does it really easily. And Poly's cheap, so yeah, just going for the core of this list, it's really good. And you don't even have to play like all the hand traps and stuff if you don't have them. If you're playing budget prank, you don't have to play them, but I would recommend it. You can play things like TTs, the chalices. You could play. Are there any cheaper hand traps? I don't really know. I think Lancia's cheap, but I don't know about main deck that guy. What about like Skullmeister? Curious. Skullmeister is an SR, so that's a fairly cheap staple. I imagine all the Ghost Girls are whoops. Yeah, I imagine all the Ghost Girls are probably ultra. Yeah, so Skullmeister's a good option though as well. Anyway, that is it for the pranks. And then the Maxi Ash, I'm still playing those. I think they're the best hand traps. I've said this before. Maxi is the best high impact, and Ash is usually the best low impact. So I think all those cards are good. Also, Gamma's a really good card you can play in this deck, and that is a super rare. It is unfortunate that it's a 2, but it's still really good because this deck can tribute for cost. So a lot of the time you'll end on the Bow Wow Bark in attack position. Obviously, it's a link. You'll end on Bow Wow Bark as your only monster, and a set Pandemonium. which is your quick play. You can activate this on the standby phase to add back 2 prank kids names, and then you have no monsters on the field, so you can gamma. So gamma's a great hand trap as well, and it's super rare, so it's fairly budget compared to the the max C and stuff. Whoops, not mean to open a tab. So that is some budget alternatives. You got the Skullmeister, you got the Gamma, you got the Lancia. Those are some budget alternatives to some hand traps. You get 1 Ash with the bundle. Maxi, I'd recommend investing in because it's the best card in the format. It seems like it's one of the best like turn-ending cards. It's insane. So yeah, that's the monsters. Then I played the Triple Poly, like we were saying, to make this the totally awesome. It's very powerful. Monster Reborn is a free extender you get in solo mode, so it's very, very good. Terraforming I recommend getting, but you don't have to. It's an ultra rare, and you can cut it. Like it's definitely cuttable. You can go from 16 prank to 15 cuttable, easy card. Instant Fusion I would definitely recommend getting. This card is insane, and Pot of Desires is a super, so I'd recommend getting it. It's very cheap. It's very good. It's a pot of greed essentially for the deck because we're playing 3 of every single card, so it's very consistent. Like I said, hitting names isn't always good because sometimes you don't always have the names, but we do play the plan, so we have a backup plan. Aha, got him. But yeah, this is good. It's definitely a solid card, and yeah. Then I played the 1 pranks. You could play 2, play 3, play 2. If you're going for like more budget, it's a common, so you can play 2 very cheaply. Play 1 if you want. I like 1. I think it's fine. It's 2 durable. It's recyclable. You can add it back off of Doodle. You can add it back. Yeah, you can add it back off Doodle, and then you can search it with Doodle. So I don't see needing to play 2 or 3, but 2 is not bad. And then Chalice is good. Oh, because it's also an extender a lot of the time. Chalice is good. Play droplets if you got them. Over Chalice for sure. But if you don't got them, great rare. Great budget option. 2 called by, I think is pretty essential for this deck. Maxi makes you pass. I would definitely recommend having the called by. Crossout's not needed, but good. Triple Pandemonium, definitely. Not going to change that ratio. It's very good. And plan. And then in the extra deck, it's pretty similar. One Rocket Ride, 1 Weather Washer, 2 of the Battle Butler. You can play 3 if you want. 2's good. You can play 1 if you want. 2's good, though, because you can recycle it off of pranks. I like 2. Totally awesome. I think this card's really good. I would definitely recommend getting this really, really soon. But also the Access Code Unicorn package. And then the Triple Meow Meow, Triple Doodle, 2 Bow Wow. I think this build is really good, and it's fairly cheap. If you look into it, so here, the only needed Ultras, the cards that I would recommend getting, and that you can do this off of a free-to-play, brand-new account very, very easily. 2 called by, 3 Max C, 1 Instant Fusion, 2 Battle Butler, 1 Totally Awesome, Unicorn, Access Code. That's what, 3, 5, 10 Ultra Rares that I would say are pretty necessary. You don't need all 10, but I would recommend 10. And in this order, here's the order I'd give it. Battle Butler, obviously you need 2 of that immediately. You need that card. Called by, Max C on the same tier. Get those at the same time. You need those cards. And then I'd go Instant Fusion, Ash, Terraforming, the rest of the Ultra Rares. The Access Unicorn package, probably on that same tier. Maybe a little bit higher because it's a really good win button. But you have a win button. The deck has its own win button. Like I said, the play says Chainlink 1. When you fusion summon Battle Butler, you summon 3 guys. And the Battle Butler, they all gain 500 attack. That's an additional 2k attack on top of the 3k Battle Butler and all of your 1500 beat sticks that you summon. They all go to 2k. You can easily win by doing that. Also, Gamma's a great option. So that's my overview. That's the budget alternatives that I would say. And those are the 2 prank lists that I would play. Also, Skill Drain is a cool card to add in if you want. Also, I'm curious. There can be only 1. Is that a super? Okay, that's dumb. There can be. Are you serious? There can be only 1. Are you serious? What? Trap. Okay, come on, man. Okay, it's an ultra. Of course it is. But Skill Drain's a super. Not bad. Alright, anyway, that's it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you need to leave a like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. Link in the description. And, yeah. Prank Kids, Master Duel. It's a good deck. Have a good week. Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye.